Hey, Jared.
Yes.
Why is the English countryside always so quiet?
I don't know. Why?
Because even the sheep are too polite to make noise.
I was thinking along the lines of politeness, but I didn't. That's good, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back to Screen Time Film, a podcast where we discuss a director's filmography from oldest to latest. Currently in Alex Garland, mid his career.
Yeah.
The whole 5 films he's directed.
Yep.
This is number 3. So my name is Josh, and this is my co-host Jared.
Josh, did you know that elephants are the only animal that can't jump?
Right. I did not.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what she says in the film.
Yeah. I didn't look it up. I was like, really? I've never heard that.
Yeah, me neither. So I don't know.
But then I'm like, maybe,
look it up.
I mean, when you need to put something like that in a film, you probably look up obscure information like that. And
I don't know, unless she's just lying and just
doing that to distract.
trying to just distract her. Yeah. I didn't look it up, so I don't know.
Well, today we are discussing the film Men. Came out in 2022, rated R, an hour and 40 minutes. A young woman goes on a solo vacation to the English countryside following the death of her ex-husband. So this, once again, is written and directed by Alex Garland.
Okay.
Cinematography, again, is Rob Hardy. Composers are a duo, again.
Yep.
Jeff Barrow and Ben Salisbury. Production costs. What do you think?
Well, there's only it's one place and only a couple people.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, mainly only 2 people. Most of it, actually. Technically, 2 actors. But this is 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say 10 million.
7 million.
Okay.
But you were close.
That's close. Yeah. It sounds about
Give or
right.
take a few million.
Yeah. That's with COVID protocols.
Yeah, maybe. If it came out
Although, where they filmed it probably didn't.
didn't need
It's
it
pretty
too much,
open.
yeah,
Like, there's
and
not
pretty
much
minimal
going
amount
on.
of- Minimal amount of people. And
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there were those scenes in London, but
That's true.
yeah.
There was a little bit, but
not, I mean.
mostly is
Not much.
countryside, though.
Yeah. All right. No Oscar noms or wins,
Okay.
which is the first time for him, right? Like everything else had some
he had
noms and
something.
wins.
Yeah.
The other 2. All right. As you said, there's not a lot of people in this, but we have Jesse Buckley, Rory Kinnear, Papa Ezidou, I don't know how they say that.
Okay.
Gail Rankin, Sarah Twarney, and then there's Sonia Mizuno, which
Yeah. That's the
is
girl.
just a voice as the police operator, which was because I was like, wait, she wasn't in this. And then,
Yeah. I looked it up to see.
yeah.
Didn't recognize her as that voice, but yeah, that's what she's credited as in this. Which the thing he did right before this, the miniseries, she's like actually the main actress in it. So that's like the first thing that she's
Okay.
in it a ton.
Devs.
Devs, yes.
All right. So you had not seen this film, right?
No.
So both of us. So why don't you start us off? What were your thoughts on this film?
Okay. I mean, definitely way different. So I mentioned the miniseries because that's also very similar to the first 2 movies he's done.
Okay. A little bit of sci-fi bent.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is like pretty different for him,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean, I always appreciate when, you want to do something creative or just outside of the realm of what you're comfortable with or used to. I like how small scale and intimate the story is.
Okay.
Definitely not what I was expecting, and some wild moments for sure.
Yeah.
And I was into the story and kind of what was going on, like especially when she was there at the countryside, like was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Until the ending, and the ending was just so dumb and ruined the movie for me, honestly.
Okay.
And yeah, which sucks because like I was kind of into it before that, but yeah, it was just I don't know, and maybe I just didn't get it, but the ending, but I don't know. But yeah, what did you think of this movie?
I would say similar boat. Maybe not ruin it for me.
Okay.
But thought the ending, it got a little weird, and like I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, of course.
I think to me, but I also am not a huge, like the gore stuff too. So the
body horror.
Yeah, the body horror, however you call it. So I think because I mentioned this in The Witch, I think when we did that, like I think sometimes the not showing everything is more interesting, especially in something like this where you're kind of using things as metaphors anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I feel like there could have been a stronger way to do that ending and not be so body horror centric.
Well, yeah, I agree. And that's why it ruined it for me, because it's just like, it felt like they just wanted to do like the weirdest thing possible and just like most crazy thing just for people to talk about, like, oh, the ending of this movie, because it's not something you're expecting anyway.
Correct.
Like going into this film.
Yes.
So I feel like partially they just want to do it just so there's at least some talking point for when people watch us to be like, oh, you know,
or
there's a crazy ending or something.
I wonder, because I feel like at this point, the director, I feel like he kind of, he kind of is fascinated with doing interesting visual effects too. Oh yeah. Right. Like I feel like we've had that now in his other two films. And so I wonder if he just had this like visual, like it was more like he wanted the challenge to have to create this, right? Like almost like true. Because I feel like every creative, even if you're at the top and you're kind of just making calls and having other people execute some of the stuff, like there's the what's your creative bent, right? Like what is it? And like it seemed like he definitely likes those kind of like challenging, odd, weird aesthetics that are going to either be practical or CG. And of course won an award with the first one with the special effects, an Oscar. So, I wonder if that's just kind of his shtick. He likes that kind of stuff. And then so he's always has some interesting visual in his head that he's like, can we make this work? And the challenge of that. Now, again, doesn't mean it works from the story standpoint, but just, right. I guess what I'm saying is like, maybe I would be a little hesitant to be like, oh, he just wanted to shock people just to shock people. Like, I feel like just going off the other two films, I feel like he has a little bit more deeperness to those things. And so I'm wondering if it was less that and more just, he just had this like interesting idea that ended up being that, right? Like, it's like, oh, is there a way to nest this, let's say person inside of a person, like like these layers of trauma, right? Yeah. And how do we visualize that? And then at some point it came to this, and whether it works or not is a different thing, but that would be my, like a little bit more
fair. I mean, that could have been what he was trying to do for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just trying to give him a benefit of doubt a little bit on that. Again, like I agree with you. I don't think it was the best way to end it.
No, and even which we'll get there when we get to the notes. Like even literally like the last thing that happens and dialogue, I just thought was like, this is kind of a dumb way to end the movie. Like the very, very last thing.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Well,
did you like the story though? I don't know if you said much else about it. Like,
I think like, so I was into it.
Okay.
Like 2/3 of it.
Yeah.
Way or 3/4 of the way. Kind of like, it was just that, like that final act, the third act kind of got a little weird and body horror-ish. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, the other stuff I like.
Yeah, me too.
All right, let's get into it. So we start off with Harper, our main character, arriving at the countryside. And as we kind of talked about, I think this was a great setup with just the gorgeous locations of the English countryside. And then like it allows for this like isolation kind of later that like adds to the suspense, right? I do think it was a little weird, the opening.
Yeah, so it starts first with her.
Yeah. Like the quick shot of the trauma, like, or the interaction with her ex-husband or whatever. And I do think it was a little weird right there where they started, because we don't know enough what's going on, and it just is confusing.
Yeah, we don't learn that whole scene until way later, right?
Yeah. It's just confusing to see the slow-mo of him like falling in front of the window.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a little odd choice, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's the stuff that I like the most of this movie is all the stuff of her at the countryside and meeting all these different people and all that. Like, I think that was the most interesting parts of the film.
Yeah. So that's my next note about. So then, kind of get to the first introduction. So I guess, and here's spoilers, obviously.
Yeah.
We're reviewing a film that's been out for a few years. When did you figure out it was all the same person?
Well, I figured because I looked at the cast, like,
see, I didn't look at it before I watched it.
Yeah, so maybe that kind of partially ruined it for me. Like, I was like, oh, it's only them two, but then she keeps meeting new people, so it's like, oh, okay, but it's all the same actor, but it's not the same person technically. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what's confusing about this movie is
they all have different names,
right?
And
it's not like she's pointing out like you're all the same person. She doesn't ever say that.
No, that's true.
So,
but it does imply that they're all, because later when she like cuts the hand, then everyone's got a cut hand.
Yes. But
again, metaphor for trauma, dealing with like her trauma in a relationship or something.
Yeah.
So there's so like to me, and because it's also like there's no women. The only other woman we see is, besides her friend she FaceTimes with, is the woman cop that shows up briefly. But otherwise, every man she runs to is this guy, just a variation of this guy. But I don't know that I picked up on it. Definitely not when she first sees the new guy, the homeless guy. Like that showed up. I wasn't.
Oh,
didn't know.
really?
Because that's the first person you see other than Jeffrey, right? The host, the guy, the Airbnb host. So I didn't even realize they were the same person.
Okay.
But they look pretty drastically different. Then the next is like the priest of the church.
Yeah.
And you don't really see him close up until then she sees the kid version.
Yes.
That has the creepy mask. And that's when I was like, he looks weirdly. And then,
well, they do a really good job with making them look so different.
And then of course, the other guy. But it was somewhere shortly after, but then definitely by the time right after that, and she goes to the pub.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like, wait a minute. I was like, they're cutting between the two guys just sitting at the table, the bartender behind the bar, and then Jeffrey, and then the police officer shows up.
Too,
which I guess we had met him, but like because he was by himself, I didn't pick up on it. But anyway, then I was like, it was like I was suspicious right before that, but then definitely when she went to the pub, I was like, oh, these are all the same actor. Just
and that's a cool way to do it, to where
practical or through CG, they're twisting his.
And you don't realize. I mean, that's a cool way. I think that's probably the most effective way, is the way you experienced it, to where you don't fully realize until you see multiple of them in a scene, which is cool. Yeah.
And I think that was how it was intended, to try to be subtle. And then you finally know, like not be obvious about it.
I think also because I remember when this movie was coming out, I remember seeing the trailers,
Mm-hmm.
and they show a few of them at least. So I feel like that's kind of also, I don't know why they would cut the trailer that way if they didn't want that to be the effect, showing a view of them.
Sometimes,
Or it's out of his hands.
Directors don't have
True.
control over the trailer.
Yeah.
That's what, P.T. Anderson, remember he started doing things that he could get because he was mad about some of the early stuff.
Yes.
That was in some of the trivia.
That is true. Yeah. So maybe it wasn't him. It was out of his control.
Yeah.
I do want to just mention our two main people. So Jessie Buckley is Harper. She's great in this, and I've liked everything that I've seen her in. She's really great.
I've never seen her in anything else.
Really? Okay. She was in season 4 of Fargo.
I did not see season 4 of Fargo.
Oh, okay.
Because I've only seen season 5 of Fargo.
Okay. There was.
But yeah, she was great. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I just.
Yeah. What was the other thing? There's one other big thing I've seen her in. I can't think of it now. But and then our guy Rory Kinnear, he's in a ton of things.
Yeah. Including James Bond.
Yeah, including James Bond. But he what he does in this movie is incredible.
Yes.
With how
100%.
different. I mean, he's a great actor anyways. Anything that you've seen him in, but this is he has to do so much, and he has to play these also different.
Playing all of them, and I think that's also what sells it. Not just that they look different, but he's doing such a good job of creating these other different characters for each one of these.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's an actor's dream to be able to do these kind of things.
Yeah, he probably loved doing this kind of thing. Yeah, because there's only so much that the makeup and costume and all people do to it, but then he has a different voice for all these
mannerism.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, and then which I guess we can talk about in cinematography. But I mean, it's crazy what they do with CG for him to be the boy. Also, I don't really know how they did it specifically, but pretty amazing. I think what they did with it for that character as well. It's awesome.
Yep.
Oh, and then one other acting person, just because I was looking on IMDb, that I didn't realize. So in the previous film, Annihilation, Cosmo Jarvis is credited as a special ops soldier. Because I don't think I saw him in the movie, but that's our guy, John Blackthorne.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from Shogun.
Yeah, which is I don't think I don't remember seeing him in the movie.
No.
But I just saw him in the credits. I was looking around. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I do know he's in Civil War or Warfare. One of the last two movies he is in. Somewhat. So, yeah, but I just wanted to mention that.
Okay. Noted. That's cool. That's cool. So then, kind of speaking of some of the interactions, the Naked Man, I think that stuff's done so well. Again, it's scary because of her isolation. She's in middle of nowhere, but also just in that invasion of you. It's this fake barrier of well, my yard is my space. It's not going private. And then he was just kind of in her yard, even though it was even just a rental. But it kind of gives this. I don't know. They did such a good job of it.
No, yeah, definitely. But he stays outside.
Yeah, the first
character, he stays outside the whole time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I don't think he's one of the ones that come
even
in.
later, when he's the one that puts his hand through the thing.
Yeah.
But and then, he doesn't really come inside.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in this case, no, there's the time where she, and then the word actually is what came through the window. And
yeah.
But yeah, that was just a good setup. Even the the echo that she starts doing in the tunnel.
Yeah.
And that's cool. It's just a cool effect, the way it kind of starts creating this musical layer. But then it's kind of used as this almost creepy thing later that just keeps kind of coming back in the
Yeah.
moments, like, right? And they just kind of do this like, or choirish, like,
it gets incorporated into
to like the score,
yeah.
and kind of gives it this creepy thing.
Yeah.
But that was cool, I thought.
Yeah, me too. I noticed, well, there's several different instances, but there is it's a lot of symbology of Adam and Eve, but specifically Eve
Yes.
in this. I mean, she literally picks an apple from the tree when she gets there.
Yep.
Jeffrey, I think, says forbidden fruit
Yes.
as a joke
Yes.
at one point, and then
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And he's like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah. And then what was the other thing? There's something else that let me see if I no, I don't think I have it written down, but there's definitely something else in there too. But anyway, that's a big obvious theme with this film that I think is interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the flashbacks.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think in general it's a good choice to kind of slowly reveal this as the kind of things get worse, and you kind of reveal, like, I think that, just like I said, I think it was a little weird though, the intro, right?
Yeah. So still like play it out the way they did, but just don't start with it.
Yeah.
I agree.
So what, I guess I'm gonna ask, like, how did you emotionally feel with him, her ex-husband, in the different scenes? Because I feel like for me, like, there was a time where I was like, it's like, oh, she seems to be like harsh to him. Then it's like, oh no, he deserves it. But then you're like, oh wait, no, so she was a little harsh to him because he ends up, slipping and falling or committing. We don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, did that happen for you? Like, you kind of like,
No, I think that was exactly how, and maybe that was intentional. Like, every time we jump back to that, there was points where I was like more thinking like, yeah, she's doing some things that's like kind of not fair, but then sometimes I'm like, oh no, this is justified. So I think they play that balance really well.
Ping-pong back and forth
like
as it escalated, kind of.
Yeah, and I think every time we jump back, and it kind of reveals more of that. I'm going back and forth between them until obviously you see him.
Yeah. But I mean, I agree. I think it was intentional, but I also think it was done really well.
It was.
To be able to do that in a storytelling and be, make you sympathetic for somebody and then be like, no,
and then be conflicted. Yeah.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Is good. It's not easy to do.
No.
So I guess, I don't know if you started picking up on, it seemed like each one of the different variations of this guy
Mm-hmm.
had embodied a certain type of, right? Like almost like, a stereotype, right?
Yes.
So which one was the most disturbing for you, do you think?
Probably. Well, it's funny because the priest one, like her first interactions with the priest, I thought were really good and like probably one of the most interesting scenes.
Mm.
But then by the end, when they have their final encounter, I'm like, oh, this is like the worst dude, like out of them all, like just the stuff he says. So I think he's the one I thought was, by the end,
Yeah.
I thought was the worst. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of, but I was thinking even in the because I was like, because he's the one that's the most hiding behind like that. Some of the other people are more transparent and straightforward, and he's like, but even like the first interaction, like it was like I was already, because he put his hand on her leg, and I was like, oh, this guy's,
that's right. He does.
He's a little creepy.
Yeah.
And then he like, pulls it back, and then she seemed okay, but then as soon as she got up and left, then he like rubs like the seat, like where she was sitting, kind of with his hand, and I was like, oh, dude, this guy's creepy. Like,
yeah, but it's a good job, because I at first didn't take it that way, because it seemed like he was being genuine, like a priest. Like even when he first puts his hand on her, like I thought he was just being thoughtful.
Well, but then he also says something kind of
there. Yeah, I was trying to remember, because there is a point where he does say something, but it's like it's very good. Again, just kind of like the flashback scenes we get. Like it's a good job in these interactions where it's like really towing the line. Because I thought that scene was fascinating, the first priest interaction, but then if I watch it again, I would definitely pick up. You would, pick up a lot more
stuff more. Yeah,
but I only saw it like very subtly the first time with that scene. Yeah.
All right, so we kind of talked about this in the beginning, but the the birthing sequence.
It's like a birthing cycle.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And this all starts with the naked man, right?
Yes.
No. Yeah, because, earlier he puts like the one little plant into his skin that he cuts open. But then by the end, even there, before anything happens, it's like grown around his face or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's where it starts, right?
I think so. But it was right after the other guy, the host guy, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. In the car.
He ran in with the car, but then I guess, but yeah, you're right. It was the plant guy or the homeless guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, weirdly gives birth to,
but it's like, it's every time the cycle, the person's coming out a different way, right?
Yeah.
I think every time they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy. But then, and I don't even know, because it goes on for quite a while to where I don't know how many times it's done before it finally is her ex.
Yeah.
Or husband, right?
Yep.
I don't remember how many times it is. But yeah, I don't know. Like, since you explained, like, if Alex Garland's really trying to explain something deeper metaphor with this visual, then I can appreciate it a lot more. But to me, just watching this time, I think what made it worse for me was then, like, finally then her husband being there and their final interaction then just made me like, I was like, I hate this ending at that point. But I can appreciate more if it really wasn't Alex Garland's intention for this to be some psycho metaphor for something.
I think it was, but
yeah.
Did you pick up on like all the injuries match his from the fall?
No.
So that's why that's why the hand was split, because it like he got, and then
okay, I do remember that, and then the leg was the big one.
Yeah, and then the leg was broken. Yeah, like it was just, those were like, as the things that kept happening to this guy, they all match.
Oh, cool.
His injuries from the fall.
Was it just those two? Was there another one?
I don't know, those are the main two.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think there was something else. Because she stabs him too.
Yeah.
It's the
no, but that's cool, because obviously, they're really noticeable in the scene. But I did not realize that was his injuries originally. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and I didn't pick it up until he came out, and it was like him there, and I was like, oh, these are mimicking all the injuries from his fall. Yeah, just they've slowly added to this weird man of a trauma, whatever you would call it. So let's talk about the final that you didn't like. So what is it you didn't like about it? The final.
Well, it's their conversation, which I don't remember exactly what they say to each other, or I guess it's mainly what he says to her.
Well, she's feel like, I mean, she's like,
when he's finally out and then he sits on the couch,
mm-hmm.
And then what does he say to her?
Well, like she finally screams like, "What do you want from me?"
Right.
And then he's just like, "I just wanted you to love me."
Is that what he says? I thought he said something else too.
I mean, he says other things while he's sitting there.
Okay.
But that's the...
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It just, I don't know. I don't really like fully understand. We go through this whole
mm-hmm.
cycle of birth or rebirth. And then it's just like them fighting about their relationship.
Yeah.
And then it just the end. I don't know. I just
no, I agree.
I didn't think it was a satisfying ending.
Yeah, I don't think it made it clear that she resolved any of the guilt she was, or dealt with the trauma of like what happened, which I think that could have been more clear, and I would think it would have made a stronger ending. And then, like I said, I don't think you needed to see that. I mean, there's probably a better way so it does not so body horror.
Yeah.
Kind of, but, yeah. I think the concept of the overall with like each guy representing different types of trauma for her, and like with men or whatever, like I think that idea is interesting, and it's all like the same dude just looking a little different, kind of like, but like I said, the resolution, I feel like there might have been a different way to kind of deal with it all, and then kind of bring her, to some kind of growth or relief or, resolution.
Yeah.
Does that seem a little unfinished in that way, like emotionally unfinished?
Yes. And then I just remembered then one of the very last shots is her friend arriving, right?
Yep.
Which is...
She's pregnant.
Oh, is she?
The friend is pregnant. Yeah. I don't know if that was supposed to mean anything, but...
No. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Cause I don't even think she mentions that when they're like FaceTiming or...
Cause all the other times they're FaceTiming, you only see her face but then she finally shows up and she kind of, you see her full body after she gets out of the car.
Right. Yeah.
And she's pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think how you explained it, I think is best, where it's not emotionally concluded or satisfying of an ending. And that's anyway, that's why I ended up like that whole ending really, now that I understand it maybe a little bit more after you explained it, it makes me appreciate the movie more, which I already enjoyed up until the end, but just that whole ending bit like ruined the movie somewhat for me because of that, which sucks because I was really into the story, especially like we said, the whole countryside and the interactions with all these different men, and definitely picked up on what these different same portrayals of this actor playing different people, what it's supposed to represent. And I thought that was all done really well, especially.
All right, well, speaking of English countryside, let's get into some cinematography.
Okay.
So I kind of alluded to this earlier, but I think that setting really makes almost like the creepiness again even more unsettling, because it's like in this area that's supposed to be like beautiful countryside, quiet,
yeah.
It's supposed to be relaxing for her, right? It's her little getaway post losing her husband, and I think they do a great job with like, because even just some random shots early on, they're just like just nature shots of things and the sounds, and thought it was good. The visual symmetry is crazy. The amount of like mirrors, the tunnels, lots of framing choices reinforce the theme of this like repetitious cycle.
Yeah.
That I think they did a really good job with the visuals.
I think the we were talking about with the tunnel. I think that's one of the shots that stood out the most to me. But it's like it's two different shots though.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one that's really far away that you were mentioning,
mm-hmm.
That just really cool framing, like you said, symmetrical, but also it's like you're on the other end of the tunnel
mm-hmm.
and she's facing it. But then there's another one that I think is her leading up to it, where it's from her back.
Mm-hmm.
And as she steps to it, it's like completely, she's engulfed in
mm-hmm.
black. And I thought that was really cool too, the way that was done as well.
Yeah. I think also when she goes to church, they do this like transition, which they use it later again, where they show like the shadows going up and down that like,
oh yeah,
the kind of pedestal statue thing that they have the face on the side of it.
Yeah.
And I think that was also really interesting, but also like showing just like time is passing.
Passage of time. Yeah.
Like definitely. Cycle though, because then they use that again later,
mm-hmm.
like intercut and stuff. But I think the lighting and color palette's kind of very natural in the beginning, then kind of with like warmer tones, but then goes definitely darker
mm-hmm.
and more surreal as time goes, as the things progress.
Okay.
Film.
Cool. Does the lighting change or the actual color grade?
Probably both, a little bit both.
Okay.
I think they definitely started lighting things a little bit like more moody, darker.
Yeah.
But then I think they do shift a little bit of the tone as well.
Cool.
Just to kind of, it's subtle, but it's like just to kind of slowly give you a different feeling as the movie goes on.
Mm-hmm. Well, and especially once he's in the house and chasing her around, like that's like the only scene of the whole movie that's like classic like horror movie
mm-hmm.
kind of chase scene. And the way that scene is lit too, like that's pretty much the only scene in the movie that's like kind of like a stereotypical
mm-hmm.
that would be in a horror film. But that's the thing also is that going into this movie, I don't think you really even know there's going to be any horror elements at all.
True.
Which is, I mean, I guess it's kind of, well, which we like doing, especially for the podcast, going in completely blind to something anyway. But yeah, I was not expecting it to go that much into it. Like not just the horror aspect, but then again, then it goes more into like body horror, like Cronenberg, or like The Substance, like that movie. Like it's going into that realm then, which I didn't think about either. But it's also funny people going to see this probably when it came out, because you'd have to think that it's going to be sci-fi in some way, right? Like literally everything he did up until this point.
Right.
So that's yeah, anyway. But I do, like I said, I applaud him for doing something completely different. I don't know if it's something he's wrote a long time ago, and just wanted to do, or I don't know. Well,
again, we touched on this a little bit, but just the practical / special effects CG. Regardless of whether I agree with some of the choices of what they made,
right?
Everything looked ridiculously good and real.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I just said like it was well done, regardless of didn't like maybe the content they were creating in parts, but
yeah, and to do, you said 7 million.
Yeah,
that's great. But again, also it's like you're really only paying mainly 2 actors. But it's like, I'm curious, like Roy Kinnear, like, was he getting paid for this? You know what I mean? Yeah. But also, partially he probably doesn't care, because like you said, it's kind of like an actor's dream. Like, hey, I get to do like so many different, I'm not just playing this one person this whole film. So that was probably a bonus for him anyway.
Yeah.
Going into the film.
Probably.
I bet one of the most, besides Bond, like you mentioned, but he's the president in the very first Black Mirror episode that has to do the thing with the pig, which is like that's probably one of the things he's most famous for, which is kind of funny.
I forgot that it's the same.
He's
same
all the way
actor.
back then, yeah.
Well, I guess he's willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah.
Any other notes on the visuals for you?
No, I had down in here too. Whatever they were doing, I kind of want to see the behind the scenes to do for the kid. What all was involved for the kid character. It was a cool choice, and it looked good. It looked real.
Let's get into the score a little bit. Music. I just had a note that, and I noticed this on some of the other films.
Okay.
I just didn't bring it up, and I just think it's funny using this like creepy suspenseful music sometimes over just like a shot that's not.
Yeah.
And it's so like just be like this nature shot, and this, and it's like that would feel very different if you just change that music, because that's all it is. It's just music, and yeah.
I mean, not just with his movies, but a lot of movies do that, where it will just be some creepier sounding score, or even just some like horror element sound design over something just like that. Yeah, like a landscape. There's a lot of horror movies that do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty common thing. But yeah, you're right. You could just put something like a traditional like string heavy orchestral like major section in there, and you'd be like, oh, this is nice. It sounds
nice and
happy,
pleasant.
and
Yep.
yeah. But that's why we love, well, I do at least. I don't know about you, but that's why I love music and scores, because the power of music.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, no, I understand. Like
Yeah.
But just, yeah.
There's in this score, because I really liked it in here too. You already mentioned what Harper does with the echo in the tunnel, and then it gets incorporated into the score, which is really cool. But there's a lot of other like ethereal voice sounds we hear even before that and after that as well in the score, which I really like. Get a lot of organ mixed with that too, which I think is a really cool combination. So like ethereal voices and then just a normal organ sound.
Okay.
Like that was in it for a decent amount of the movie. And yeah, and then also what we were just talking about, there was a lot of different great horror style sounding sound design that they throw in there as well. Which is like, they have to do with any horror movie, especially in trailers. You hear it all the time in trailers, especially. Just like weird sounds or scraping sounds, stuff like that.
Yep. Well, what about the themes and messages?
Boy, you kind of already nailed this, because this is what I had written down for this. It's just grief and trauma. That's essentially pretty much everything that happens or is as a result of in this film is those two things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think like how the same trauma can come up, it can show up in different people's, quote unquote, like, I think it's kind of, and how until like you deal with it, it's always going to affect you.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of the message what I wrote down myself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's look at a little trivia then. They filmed in the United Kingdom. Yeah, just mentioning her picking the apple is definitely something Adam and Eve.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's probably not going to be much trivia for this film.
Yeah, there's not really anything.
I don't know if they go into in depth at all about like what they did for any of the characters that Rory Kinnear is playing, like what all they did.
Yeah, I mean, just been, which I kind of, I mean, it's one of those things that I forgot to make a note about, but it's obvious. All the flashback scenes are all lit with an intense sunset orange. Like,
oh yeah,
it's like, yeah, they're. Oh, the symbolism of dandelions, which they kept showing, is significant. Dandelions reproduce asexually through a process called parthenogenesis, which means all dandelions are clones of initial specimen. This is a clue to the nature of the men in the village, who are played by Roy Kinnear.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that. Was there really that many?
Yeah, they kept using them like float around and.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Like the little white.
Yeah, them actually going off of
the seeds off of the.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah, not much here.
I'll just see on YouTube if there's any behind the scenes stuff on this.
So here we go. Here's some. So all the characters are play by Roy Kinnear, other than the boy, which is this guy Zach Rothera Oxley, with digitally replacing his face with Kinnear's. So they actually, it is a different body.
Yeah, I figured that was a way that, I mean, that would be the easiest way to do it. Yeah. I think it's cool anytime, which I know we've talked about, and this is done plenty of times in TV and films. But I always think it's cool when an actor has to play in the same scene. And like, what is the choice you do? How to film that? Oh, we talked about this in one of the Villeneuve films. But like when you have an actor that has to play two different people in the same scene, or like a twin, which, what was the movie? Was that an Enemy, or is that in something else?
Yeah.
Was it Enemy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But I always think that's fascinating to see, and how you do it. If it's like a, what do they call that? Where it's a, how's the word for it? Because I always see those visual effects breakdowns on YouTube. What is the word they use?
What are they?
Is it a mat? No.
Oh, like a mask.
Mask. Yeah. So it's like only
half the screen, like they cut off half of it, so that
which I know you'd.
Yeah, that's the
do a lot of
easiest
your
way
stuff.
to do.
Yeah,
that's the easiest way to do. Like to make sure that they don't
you just
move.
have to line it up.
The simplest way to do is you don't move the camera. Yeah, the person don't make sure they don't cross each other's line, and you kind of invisible line between them. And the one person here does everything, and then he comes over here and does everything, and then you can just.
Which is probably how they do it in this, because they don't really move around too much. Because it's the bartender, the cop, and Jeffrey sitting at the bar, right? So it's 3 of him in that scene.
Probably, yeah.
I think that's the most. Yeah.
Cool. Well, any final thoughts?
No. You made me appreciate the ending more, but I still don't like the ending.
Yeah.
But it's a cool story, and especially knowing more about the way the body horror is visualized and representing like her husband. I think it was cool because I didn't notice that, you pointing that out. So I mean, I still think if people haven't seen it, you should definitely still check it out for sure.
Yeah.
Just for, I mean, we talked a lot about Roy Kinnear in this, just for what he did in this movie, but Jesse Buckley is also an amazing actor.
Mm-hmm.
They both are.
Yeah. I agree. It's worth watching. Just even if the ending's a little weird and disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next movie is Civil War.
Yeah.
You've seen this one?
No, I think I was going to.
Okay.
Because we talked about it on the podcast, I want to say. In some form.
Okay.
Maybe it's on Based or Waste. I don't know. Probably on there. But no, I've been wanting to see this. You haven't seen it either?
No.
Okay.
Cool. Well, we will cover Civil War next week. So stay tuned for that. But if you've seen this and want to give us your thoughts, you can always write in feedback@screentimepod.com or leave us a comment or DM. We appreciate all you who like and subscribe, and those you don't, please do. You can like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you'd like to follow each of us individually, I'm at Jay Youngbar.
And I'm at Jared Youngbar.
All right, we'll catch you guys next time.